morning, everyone. Yes, we are all discussing about the structure of human heart. That means the circulatory system we are discussing about. In the circulatory system, we already discussed about the blood, structure of the blood, functions of the blood, as well as the blood vessels and also blood groups. And today we are going to discuss about the human heart. The structure of human heart we are going to discuss. Let me explain it. In the total circulatory system, there are three organs are involved in it. That is the blood vessels, as well as the human heart. So here, the human heart is a very, very important structure, and it is presented in the chest cavity. In the chest cavity, right exactly in the center, in between the lungs, above the diaphragm. In between the lungs, this is the structure of lungs. In between the lungs, and this is the diaphragm. Above the diaphragm, this is heart. This is lungs. This is diaphragm. The location of the location of the heart in the human body, it is exactly center of the chest cavity, in between the two lungs, above the diaphragm. A muscular flap-like structure is presented in the body, which separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity. This is the abdominal cavity, and this is the chest cavity. This is the diaphragm, separate the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity. Exactly above the diaphragm, in between the two lungs, in the center of the chest cavity, the human heart is located. But most of the people are saying that, and you might be heard about that, heart is presented left side, towards the left side of the body. It's not correct. It is not correct at all. Absolutely wrong. But we feel that the heart is presented towards the left side. How? When you go for the structure of the heart, here, this is the broad structure and this is the conical shape. It is almost triangular in shape. This is called apex. The conical shape. The conical shape of the heart is placed towards the left side, and also the contraction and relaxation of the muscles of the heart is very much high at this place. So we feel that the heart is located in the left side. That's only our feeling. But actually the heart is located in the chest cavity, in the center of the chest cavity, in between the two lungs, as well as above the diaphragm. Okay, that is the location. When you go for the structure of the heart is covered by a thin membrane called as pericardium. Heart is covered by a thin membrane called as pericardium, and between the pericardium and the walls of the heart there is a space, pericardial space. This space is called as pericardial space. And this pericardial space is filled with a fluid, pericardial fluid. The fluid is called as pericardial fluid is presented in this space. And this pericardium, a thin layer, will protect the heart from the injuries, as well as and jerks or external blows. Even the pericardial fluid that is presented inside the pericardial space also protect the heart from external shocks as well as the jerks. And the place where this heart is presented in the chest cavity, that space is called as pericardium. Okay, the space that is the chest cavity, and that is the layer is called a pericardial layer, pericardium, and the space is called a pericardial space. The fluid is presented in the pericardial space is called pericardial fluid. Okay, and the muscles which are presented in the heart are called as cardiac muscles. The muscles that are present in the heart are called as cardiac muscles. Only muscles are presented in the heart. No bony pieces are present in the heart. Only muscles are present. So those muscles are called as cardiac muscles, and these have the specialized functions. That is, they can self-contract and self-relax. Means self-contraction and self-relaxation will be taking place by these muscles, so that this self-contraction and relaxation makes the heart to pump the blood into the blood vessels. The contraction and relaxation of the muscles makes the heart to pump the blood into the blood vessels. So that is possible only by this cardiac muscle. That is the first property of the cardiac muscle. What is that? Self-contraction and self-relaxation. And the second one is they do not get fatigued easily. They do not get fatigued easily. That means they never get tired of. They do not get fatigue easily. They never be tired of, continuously working, and they are supplying the blood to all the body parts. That is the major effective nature of the cardiac muscles. And next, the third property is for the cardiac muscles is the third one, that is these are arranged in a zigzag manner. Zigzag arrangement. The muscles are arranged in the heart in the form of zigzag, so that they can occupy the total area of the heart, and they can easily, each to every corner of the heart can easily involve in the process of supplying the blood or pumping the blood into the blood vessels. Okay, the muscle fibers that are presented in the human heart are myofibers. The muscle fibers that are presented in the human heart are myofibers or myocardial fibers. And the persons who are expert in treating of these heart diseases, the person is called as a cardiologist. The person who treats the heart diseases, who is expert in treating the heart disease, is called as a cardiologist. Okay, and now let us discuss about the internal structure of the heart. So when you take the internal structure of the heart, that means if you take the heart and cut it vertically, you might be seeing the structure like this. So it has the four chambers in the heart: the right auricle, left auricle, the right ventricle, left ventricle, right auricle, left auricle, right ventricle, left ventricle. These are the four chambers are presented. Chamber, it is a place, it is a room-like structure where internally divided, but externally it is not separated. Externally it is not separated, but internally it is separated into a room. That is called as a chamber. So there are four chambers are presented in the human heart. Upper two chambers are called as auricles, lower two chambers are called as ventricles. Upper two chambers, right auricle, left auricle, lower two chambers, right ventricle as well as the left ventricle. And these are the four chambers. In the right portion of the heart is completely, carrying the deoxygenated blood, means the blood without oxygen completely. Okay, and the left portion of the heart is carrying the oxygenated blood, the blood with lots of oxygen. Okay, and now we will discuss about the what are the blood vessels are entering into the heart and what are the blood vessels are leaving from the heart, that we will discuss. Okay, so here you might be finding that the blood vessels entering into the heart, the blood vessels entering into the heart, the blood vessels that are entering into the heart, here 1, 2, 3 and 3. Here are the blood vessels. The first one, superior vena cava. Inferior vena cava. Pulmonary veins. The superior vena cava, it is the largest vein which brings the blood from the upper parts of the body. That means the parts which are presented above the heart. The parts which are presented above the heart, from all those parts, the superior vena cava will collect all the deoxygenated blood and brings to the right auricle of the heart. So the blood is entering into the right auricle. So this is the blood vessel which is entering into the heart. Next one is the superior vena cava is also called as anterior vena cava. Anterior vena cava, also we can say that as procap. It's also called as procap. Which one? The superior vena cava. Okay. The next one is inferior vena cava. The second largest vein, that is bringing the blood from the lower parts of the body. That means the parts which are presented below the heart. The parts which are presented below the heart, those parts, from those parts, this inferior vena cava will bring the blood to the right auricle of the heart. So this is also entering into the heart. And next one is the pulmonary veins. And this inferior vena cava is also called as posterior vena cava. Superior vena cava is called as anterior vena cava or procaval, and inferior vena cava is also called as posterior vena cava. And superior vena cava will bring the blood from all the upper parts of the body, the parts which are above the heart. Okay. And next, inferior vena cava will bring the blood from the lower parts of the body. That means the parts which are present below the heart. Okay. And next one is pulmonary vein. There are 4 pulmonary veins are presented, 2 plus 2. 4 pulmonary veins are presented, 2 plus 2. 2 from the left side, 2 from the right side. As I mentioned here, third one, one pair of pulmonary veins are entering from the right, both the 4 pulmonary veins are entering into the left auricle only, but 2 of them from the left side, right side, 2 of them from the left side. Okay. So the pulmonary veins will bring the blood from lungs and they carry the oxygenated blood. The pulmonary veins carry the oxygenated blood and that blood is brought by the pulmonary veins to the left auricle. So these two also entering into the heart. So superior vena cava, inferior vena cava will carry the deoxygenated blood, and pulmonary veins carry the oxygenated blood. Okay, and superior vena cava will bring the blood from upper parts of the body, and inferior vena cava will bring the blood from lower parts of the body, and pulmonary vein will bring the blood from lungs to the heart. But one more blood vessel is there, that is called coronary veins. Coronary veins. This is the blood vessel which bring the blood from the walls of the heart to right auricle. From the walls of the heart to the superior vena cava. Okay, so that is the coronary vein. So these are the blood vessels that are entering into the heart. Let me say now, what are the blood vessels are going away from the heart? Blood vessels away from the heart. First one, aorta, pulmonary artery, coronary artery. So this is the aorta, pulmonary artery, so these are the blood vessels, aorta, pulmonary artery as well as coronary artery. These are the blood vessels that are going away from the heart. It means they carry the blood from the heart to all the body parts. First of all, the aorta. It is the largest artery in the body. It is the largest artery in the body, and it will go from the heart always, and it carries the oxygenated blood and takes the blood to the all the body parts, right from the brain, head to toe. Right from the head to toe, the total body parts are supplied by the blood, that is also oxygenated blood, by only aorta. Of course, aorta may be traveling or carrying the blood, and it is going away from the heart. Afterwards, that aorta is become a small tubules called as arteries, and arteries become small tubules called as arterioles, and arterioles become capillaries. So like that, when they are reaching the blood, reaching the body parts, the aorta become arteries, arteries become arteriole, arteriole become capillaries. So this way the blood is supplying from the heart to all the body parts by aorta. It is the largest artery of the body. Next, pulmonary artery. The right pulmonary artery and the left pulmonary artery, and this pulmonary artery will carry the blood from the heart, that is also deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs to make it oxygenated. The carbon dioxide will be leave out and oxygen will be enter to the heart, and then this will become as a oxygenated blood in the lungs, and then the oxygenated blood is brought by the pulmonary veins. So here pulmonary artery carry the deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to lungs. Right ventricle to lungs. Okay. And next one is coronary artery. Here already we have learned about the coronary vein, which brings the blood from the walls of the heart to the superior vena cava. And here the coronary artery is the artery which carry the blood from heart to the walls of the heart. From heart to the walls of the heart. Which one? The coronary artery. And these are the blood vessels which are entering the heart. These are the blood vessels which are going away from the heart. Going away from the heart. Okay? Understood?